I want to get right into it.
Yeah.
I taught you how to DJ.
Yeah, you did. All the DJs are listening to this is close your eyes, turn around behind the decks and try and mix that way. And I still do that to this day, you know. I mean, this is advice I'll give to everyone out there. If you've already got following on your personal account, it's scary to make that transition into a DJ account, right? But just do it. Sydney Charles, Kerry Chandler, Gorgon City.
Amazing. Mark that in your calendars. Chanel.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Graftcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to get right into it.
Yeah.
I taught you how to DJ.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. It's been about 6 years, I believe.
Has it been that long?
I think it's been that long.
It's been 5 years.
Okay. 5 to 6.
5 years. 2019, no?
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
I started teaching around 2016. And I remember you came in the scene around 2 years later. So 2018, 2019. How does it feel to have sort of started your journey back then and get to the level that you are today?
I think it's so wild how I came to your house and had no idea about DJing, and you literally opened that front door and you were like just showing me the most basic mixing techniques. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You're like, this is how you mix one track in. This is how you mix one track out. And I just couldn't do it.
I think it's when someone starts learning to DJ, even if they have a musical background, because of the tech involved, it's very alien.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you're a dancer and you've got rhythm, if you're a musician and you understand phrases and harmony, melody, when you're working with technology, it's a whole new world, right?
It's a whole new world, yeah.
And I remember for you, it took you a little bit of time to get used to it, but you do have a musical background.
Yeah, I do.
You've played the piano from a very young age.
Yes, I have.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I played the piano when I was 8 years old. My piano teacher was really strict with me. She used to make me practice every week. And if I didn't practice, I'd get a telling off. So I knew every week I had to practice. And I think from there is how I knew I always belonged in the music industry, right? I also played piano in multiple different concerts around the UK. So I was classical trained from a young age. But yeah, piano taught me discipline. So I really do believe if anyone wants to be a DJ or work in music, they should learn an instrument, like learn your craft. So piano's taught me lessons in DJing, like phrasing, for example.
Yeah, you picked up phrasing very quickly.
You said that too. You said to me, you're my first student that's picked it up so quickly.
For those who don't know, by the way, phrasing is where you basically break down the track into beats and bars and phrases. So into divisions, basically, segments, right?
Yeah.
And that allows you to identify and know when a new section of a track is coming up, like the drop.
Of course.
And therefore you can prepare the upcoming song or track to come in at the right time, right?
Yeah.
You picked that up, which is the most difficult aspect of DJing, in my opinion.
Of course.
You picked it up. It was intuitive, actually, to you. You already had that skill instilled in you.
And I stress that when people say to me, you know, Chanel, how can I be a DJ? How can I improve in what I'm already doing? And I always say, really take the time to learn the theory behind music, because no matter what you do, whether it's DJing, playing the guitar, playing the piano, singing, phrasing comes in each one of those things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it can be a little bit different if it's house music or if it's jazz music. You might have 5 bars. You might have 8 bars per phrase, 5 beats per bar, 4. But it's such a vital skill.
House music is always 4x4, really.
It is. So it's actually, there's no excuse.
No.
Right?
No, but you were funny because when I was mixing, you taught me one thing, actually, which is, if all the DJs are listening to this, is close your eyes. Turn around behind the decks and try and mix that way. And I still do that to this day, you know.
Nice.
For practice, because you taught me to do that. You're like, turn around, shut your eyes, and now try and mix backwards. I was like,
yeah.
What are you telling me to do here? And yeah.
Back in the day, before CDJs,
Yeah.
before digital decks, there was no waveform.
No.
There was no representation of those beats and bars, right? So you had to do it all by ear.
Yeah.
And that's what that technique tries to teach you. It's like if you
Yeah.
close your eyes and you can't see and all you're relying on is your ears, you're forced to focus on those segments of the track. And I think that's one of the reasons why you, amongst hundreds of people that came through the school, are one of the only people that have progressed so far in their career as a DJ and as a musician. Because you're not only a DJ.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking technically, really, but I do think it's just about being consistent as well, you know?
Yeah.
If you're going to think, I want to be a DJ, then you need to go and then be a DJ and stick to it.
Let's dive into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to be a DJ. What do I have to do, right? Is it just DJing?
No.
Or is there more to it that maybe I'm not aware of?
Nowadays, I mean, you know, you have social media and marketing, right? So you are a content creator, you're a DJ, you need to make tracks. And I think people get really overwhelmed by all those three things together. But ultimately, it's just about just doing it, right? You said to me, set up a SoundCloud and just post mixes. And I was like, I can't do it. I'm too scared. Like, I don't know where to start. And you like just literally set up a SoundCloud and start posting mixes.
Yeah.
And then you said, change your personal Instagram. I mean, this is advice I'll give to everyone out there. If you've already got following on your personal account, it's scary to make that transition into a DJ account, right? But just do it.
Because they're also your friends
They're your
who
friends.
are likely to support what you're doing.
See, my argument there, though, is people always say your friends should support you. Yes, they should. But really, don't ever make a friend support you because you want your followers to be organic, right? So I never, ever say to my friends, buy my tracks, share my stories. I want it to be really organic because I want people to want to do that, right? That's how I know I'm doing something right. If I'm going to make a room full of people share my content, how do I know what I'm doing is good?
Yeah.
I'm making everyone do that.
I agree with that.
So that doesn't even answer your question on socials. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, just literally do it.
What you're saying is that no matter what, social media nowadays, marketing is vital. Extremely important.
Because if you're not, and I said this before, but like, everyone gets scared of socials thinking you have to do like a funny dancing video or just do something stupid. No, you don't. Think about what you're good at. Like it might be, you know, you're really good at making a drum loop. Don't have to show your face on it. Just do a drum loop every single month consistently. Watch people follow you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about having a quality product first.
It's about finding a way to make it work for you.
Yeah.
I think.
But also if I spend £1,000 on marketing something that is useless or something that is just a bad version of something else that's better, I might not get the results I'm looking for. But if I hone my craft first and I find what I'm good at and my niche, and then I push that, I'm likely to get much better results.
100%.
And there's pretty much an audience for almost anything nowadays. It doesn't really matter what your niche is, as long as you've honed it.
Yeah,
right?
Just spend some time bullet pointing what you're good at, what you're unique at, what your USP is, your unique selling point. So mine was like piano. I'm a girl. I mean, there wasn't any girls back in the day that did it.
At least you're honest about it.
But, you know.
it's true. Back in the day.
Gap in markets.
Even just 5 years ago, there were very few women in the industry.
Like when I was playing, barely any. And then I just thought, right, I'm going to just smash it and start doing some mixes on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And it was a bit easier back then. But, you know, sometimes I bring in my piano on Instagram. I just change my content up all the time. And you have to enjoy doing it as well. You know what I mean? Like, you can't not enjoy it.
But let me ask you a question. If your mixes were terrible, which they weren't, obviously, but if they were, do you think you would have gotten the same results? Do you think most people would get the same results?
Yeah.
If their mixes are terrible?
Well, yeah, because you also gave me this advice, Nikos. You said to me, never delete your old mixes because it shows growth.
Yes.
And I've always kept my old mixes on my SoundCloud because you said to me, don't ever delete your first mix. And I see it all the time now. People are deleting their old Instagram content from years ago, which, to be fair, if it's not relevant and I've got like, I don't know, bikini photos are fine, but for my branding, I'm like, personally, that doesn't need to be on my Instagram page. So I will remove things like that. But if you ever stalk my Instagram all the way down, Jesus Christ, like not offending the Lord, but like it's awful. But I always think about what you said and you were like, don't ever delete your old content, like your mixes, anything. Because if a manager's going to come to you or an agent, they'll be like, right, she's been posting like this consistently for 5 years. They'll then know in the next 5 years your content or whatever your mixes will just be better and better every time. So
let me hit you with a phrase.
go on.
Tell me what you think.
Go on. Hit me.
Quality alone does not breed success. It has to be combined with quantity and money.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
To a certain extent, yeah. If you want to stand out from the rest nowadays, it's literally having the whole package.
Yeah.
Money comes if you're consistent, if you're growing, if your market's growing. It will come naturally, money. Even if I think people put a lot of money behind you over a long period of time, it's about sustaining that. And I think that's hard.
Yeah.
You still have to have the love and consistency to keep money there, right?
So let's dive into your story a little bit more. So you started playing the piano when you were very young.
I did.
You were classically trained.
Yes, I was. I used to go to Woolworths all the time and buy the classical CDs.
Oh,
I still listen
Woolworths
to classical music all the time.
remember.
It's great. Everyone should listen to classical music.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I listen to it a lot of the time when I study, actually.
Yeah.
Sort of background music. It's really nice. Helps me focus.
It's really good for focusing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think, even for, like if you watch Tom and Jerry or any of the old kids films, have you noticed there's no like...
Well, it's a score behind everything.
There's no words.
Yeah.
There's no one talking, but they've created a whole story through music.
Yeah.
It's literally insane.
I don't know how a world could exist without music for me. It'd be a very sad world.
Be a horrendous world
Yeah.
without any art.
I find myself listening to music many hours in the day. Sometimes actively, like I actively want to listen to some music. Yeah. Other times just passively. It's there. It's in the background, but it's there.
I mean, people always ask me, do you listen to music all the time? The answer's no.
Even think of...
And I know that's not... No, but it really is because sometimes I actually just think listening to silence is...
Yeah, that's also really good. Meditative, right? But think of how much music influences the vibe of a venue. And by venue, I mean like restaurant, bar, cafe. The type of music they play alone there can completely change the environment, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's true for pretty much everything. The music has a massive influence on our lives.
Yeah.
I think more so than we even sometimes realize.
Right.
So back to your story.
Is this a podcast about me or the cafe? You're funny. Both, yeah.
So back to your story. So when was it that you decided to become a DJ, and also why? So you went through your classical journey, and you were still, obviously, you're very young now, but you were still in your teenage years when you pretty much decided to start going into the electronic scene. And how?
So I used to be a dubstep freak. And I always thought it was a bit weird that I was quite a girly girl. I mean, I've always been a girl. And there's a stereotype with DJ women, like they might not be as girly girl.
Yeah.
Like, especially back in the day. And now, like, whatever, be whoever you want to be. But I was always like a really girly girl. My friends all very girly girl. But I was like this, mentally, I was just like an electronic, hardcore, like, crazy gal. And I was like...
You were like a proper dubstep raver.
All my Spotify playlists used to be like Skrillex, like UKF dubstep Borg, or,
Chasing Status?
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit drum and bassy dubstep.
Right,
but like,
okay.
I mean like proper dubstep. And I was in my art lessons and like my friends would always make me pick the tracks. And every party I had, like I would always be the one playing the tracks. And I was like, mentally in my head, I thought I would actually be like a really good DJ. But don't say
That's just like self-belief. You want to do something and
There was always something in me that I've always known like it's where I belong.
Yeah.
Whether it's a DJ or music or wherever, like this is literally like who I am. Then I went to uni and I started like going to the raves, etc., and like networking there. And then I did a one of my dissertation presentations on, is there a lack of female DJs in the music industry? And then my lecturer.
So that was what your dissertation was on?
Yeah, well, like we had like multiple little dissertation elements, but one of them was to do a presentation on that. And then my teacher was like, why don't you just give it a go? I was like, do you think? She's like, yeah, do it. Then we went in lockdown a year later, and then I started doing like live streams. And then a few of them went viral. And I was like, okay, so I'm onto something here. But yeah, pretty much that. I mean, I worked with a lot of indie artists as well.
Yeah.
So I actually like worked with indie bands.
So that's the thing though. So the transition between classical to eventually what you're doing now, which is, and we'll touch on it more in a bit, but basically DJing on massive stages with some artists that you've looked up to for a long time. So you came to me to learn to DJ.
I did. I learned all my skills from you, Nico. And
definitely not all, but I'm glad that I could support you and help you a bit along your journey.
I mean, you took me on a whole Ibiza tour.
Yes. Your first ever DJ tour was the Ibiza tour that we hosted at the company.
And I was only baby girl then, 22 or something, wasn't I?
But you smashed it. We did a few gigs, and I remember you were one of the people that you just have stage presence.
Do you think?
You like to get people going. Like you'll dance, you'll raise your hands, you really try and like give energy to the people.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference as a DJ.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you are a performer, right?
You're a performer, absolutely.
You're vibing with the crowd. But yeah, I remember like that being my first experience.
And do you think your classical performances helped you? Because even though they're nothing like DJing, you're still performing in front of a crowd.
Yeah. I've always, I mean, my mother will tell you this. I have always been a performer, naturally, I think. I used to do stage school. So if I wasn't in music, I'd have been an actress 100%. I mean, I still sometimes wish
maybe you will in the future. Who knows? Lots of people who move into one art form end up.
You're an artist, so I feel like even musicians, they're probably all actors underneath. Like you just naturally create. Like my mind is so creative. But yeah.
Nice. So onto that Ibiza tour. That was your first tour. That was your first
tour with you.
Inkling of like, this is what the life is like.
Yes.
Traveling the world.
Yes.
Playing in probably some of your favorite places at the time.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember
we did Pure as well. I think that was one of the big ones for us at the time.
For me, I was like, oh my God, I'm playing in Ibiza.
Yeah.
And I do remember how nervous I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was so I mean, I only had like 2 people watch me, but I was like, I feel sick.
I think there might have been more people behind the decks, and that was like all of our crew.
And I was like,
than there was on the dance floor.
I was like, no one talk to me, please. And Steph was trying to calm me down. I was like, Steph, stop talking to me.
Yeah.
That was fun though, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of fun. It gives you like valuable experience that,
I mean, I should have done a before and after from where I play now.
And I want to touch on that as well. So now you're sharing the stage with Jamie Jones, the Martinez brothers.
Yeah,
how
pretty
is
crazy. That? Like it's really funny to talk to you as someone that's seen my growth this whole time. But in my head, I always think I'm not doing enough. And I'm like, oh, I'm failing, like I'm not getting to where I am. But when you actually look at that journey,
it's
like,
crazy.
What? When I played drum sheds, the Martinez brothers, which you're probably going to touch on anyway.
Yeah. And about that, so do you feel at this point like you belong there? Obviously you belong there, but in terms of how you feel, is it still surreal to you, or are you at this stage where it's pretty normal? Like it's sort of like your day job now, if you will. You're familiar with it. You're used to it, performing in these big stages alongside some of your favorite artists, being one of the artists that is becoming the favorite artist of other people.
I still feel like a baby on the scene. Like, you'll never feel like you're doing enough. And that's probably like imposter syndrome as well. But
for sure,
the answer is a big fat no. There's so many setbacks, like to get where I've got, it's not just been like a yes. I've had so many rejections, like to the point where you're like, oh my God, like I don't know if I'm meant to be here. You're not working in a 9-to-5 job where your end result is to be the CEO. And then there's like logical steps to get there. Like this is literally you
And you're figuring it out as you
making
go.
this whole business on your own.
Yeah.
You don't know what the end is, but you just have to keep going. Like I always say an art isn't like 2 + 2 = 4.
22.
I was wrong. But yeah, that's art. So it's not.
Yeah.
There's just no right or wrong.
You're very much figuring it out on your own
I'm
as
figuring
well.
it out every single day.
And I believe you have this, but what's your opinion on you have to learn from your peers and being able to take advice from your peers and compartmentalize it, really break it down and see what elements of that advice benefit you and then being able to apply that advice. So I feel like that's something you've done from day one. Like even a lot of the things that I taught you, you've reiterated today.
Yeah.
And I know that you've also learned a lot from other people along the way.
Yeah.
But that's one of the elements, one of the skills that you need in order to progress in this industry, I would say.
Interesting. I didn't think of it like that.
Right?
Yeah. I think it's it all comes, I mean, it sounds really cliche, but it really does come down to literally believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then you're not going to be consistent with it. Like,
Yeah.
if you've wanted to be a DJ and you do it for a year or two, but then you're thinking like, oh, well, I want to start a family now. Oh, I need to do this now. Oh, I need to like, blah, I don't have enough money. Well, then you don't believe in yourself enough to get to that next stage, right? And I don't think that just applies to DJing. I think that can apply to like anything in your life. Like you have to take the risks.
Believe in yourself, but know that you don't know everything.
You don't know everything. I don't know anything.
Because sometimes when you believe in yourself too much, the ego takes over and you think you know everything when there's so much that you could learn from others.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, it's really hard. But yeah, just solely believe in yourself. Keep your circle small.
Yeah. So, couple final things I want to touch on with you.
Yeah, go.
The music industry is notorious for being difficult to make money in.
Yeah.
Unless you're at the very top. It's quite widely known that now with music streams, there's basically no money unless you are the top 10 artists of Spotify. And even with events performing, unless you're the headliner, there also isn't that much money in it.
No.
So there's a phrase I want to run by you and I want to get your thoughts. If you want to make money, don't do music. And if you want to make music, you have to make money.
I mean, yeah. If you love this, don't expect to be a CEO and earning multiple millions overnight. But if you love what you do, you will make money. And people used to always say that to me. Like, if you love what you do in any industry, I mean, it will take a while, but you'll start to find where your income stream will come in. I mean, music is all from live really now anyway. You can't make money through releases as such anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying grow your market, grow your socials, create your brand, and then people will buy into it.
And be consistent, right?
And be
disciplined.
consistent, like just be consistent.
That's probably, I mean, you've got to believe in yourself and you've got to love it in order to be consistent.
In order to be consistent,
right?
It all comes into the three, like consistency, love, and just,
Yeah. And I think there are actually multiple avenues for generating income through music. And sometimes people only see the end goal. Oh, I want to be a massive artist, very successful, making millions.
Yeah.
And they don't consider the journey to get there and other ways that they could monetize in that journey so that they can keep going as well.
It's really, I mean, you know, it's really important to have that like as a backup because at the end of the day, like your side job or your side hustle will be paying for your music anyway. Like you'll be investing in it, whether it's your press shots, few live streams, just getting to the gigs and stuff. I mean, no DJ should play for free anyway, but when I started, I was probably playing for free for 2 years.
I'm aware. But also consider this, if I start a company today, not music related, I'm going to have to pay for advertising in many cases.
Of course.
If you go and perform somewhere for free, that is sort of like paying for advertising yourself, except the form of advert is you're being seen by lots of people that may want to follow you for the rest of your career and may want to pay to come and watch you next time.
Yeah. So, you're always going to be investing in your brand, no matter how big you get. Like, if I was earning 200K a gig, say, you think that money will still go to your management, it will go to your videographers, it will go to blah, blah, blah. Like you need to keep investing in your brand in order for it to get bigger. So, yeah, I don't think you need money as such to be successful in music. Yes, initially, but money will come when you grow with it and you're consistent. Yeah.
So finally, any upcoming shows you're really excited about that you want to share with our viewers?
I'm going to talk about my biggest one coming up Christmas time. Yeah. So I'm actually playing at Blackstone Warehouse in Liverpool, which is so big to me because it's for circus. And I used to go to circus when I was at uni and like as a raver. And like it's such a full circle moment for me because like when Tom booked me, I was like, he's like, because he knew I went to uni in Liverpool.
That's great.
And I was like on Instagram, like literally like voice noting him, like, oh my God, I'm actually going to be opening that main stage.
He knew you were a big fan before he contacted
like,
you.
Tom knows I went to uni there. And then like I've told all my uni friends, they're like, oh my God, like, I literally used to go there as a raver. Like,
that must be one of the pinch me moments, right? Of like, wow, this is actually happening for me now.
I mean, when I also played with Hannah once, when me and her just played on a lineup, I was like, that's mad because I used to fangirl over Hannah once so bad.
Yeah.
Like fully fangirl over her. Before I really knew I wanted to be a DJ, I was just like, she's amazing.
Yeah.
And then when I took over her, like she was playing and then I took over her, I was like, what the fuck?
Thanks very much for sharing that.
So that was two big full circle.
Do you have the date for the event?
7th of December.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mark that in your calendars.
So I'm playing with Sydney Charles, Kerry Chandler, Gorgon City.
Amazing. Mark that in your calendars.
Come.
I have to say, it's really beautiful to watch your growth.
Oh,
it's
thank
amazing.
you.
And I'm so proud of you as your historic teacher.
I literally walked in there, Nikos. Remember, I didn't really know I needed to bring my own headphones.
I remember. So I'm so proud of you, how far you've come. I know you've got way further to go in your career, and I know that you'll reach the highest of heights.
I hope so.
And I'm very excited to watch you grow even further, even more excited to come and watch you perform soon.
You.
And thank you very much for being on.
Thank you so much.